I'm not going to hit my stride till I'm 50. Right? I'm 40. I'm working for my stride to be when I'm in my 50s. And I talk to people on the plane. I always say I'm a comedian when they ask, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, going to Bend, Oregon.
Sometimes people aren't even asking.
Comedy, dude.
Like, do you want this coffee? I'm like, yeah, I'm a comedian. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I'm very biased. I love electric cars because every electric car owner pays me to put in a charging station for them. So hey, shout out to all my electric car peoples.
Tesla.
Thank you. Yep. Appreciate all the work. You guys are the best.
And just like that, guys, we are back with the universe according to Mugsy. Today is Monday, July 27th, 2026. I am lucky enough to be joined by my guest, Tommy Wirez from Southern New Hampshire, the comic, the electrician by day, comedian by night, electrifying the stage, former podcast host himself.
No, I am an electrician by trade. That's what I do. I truly enjoy my job outside of comedy as well. I love comedy, but my job, my daily is something that I truly enjoy. So it's easy for me to do. Yeah, man, I love podcasting. We had a podcast, me and my former partner. We just had to dissolve things because of separate paths and separate things going on. But this kind of whole setup here is something I love to do and talk about. And you're doing a good job at this, man. You got a good
thanks, man.
A good Rolodex of shows.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're just swinging with it, like however it comes at us.
That's how you got to do it, though.
Figuring it out. I know. I feel lucky. You're a New England guy.
Yes.
I was brainwashed by the Barstool engine. When I was a kid, like 14, it started on the internet. So I got to see that whole rollout. Exactly. All of it. The Portnoys and all of them.
Can we just discuss your Big Cat episode and how much detail you put into that snowball game? In talking about the electricity flowing through the flakes onto the field.
This is the beginning of something special.
I was literally in a movie just listening to you talk about it on that episode.
Thank you so much.
It was incredible. I'm so
glad somebody enjoyed that episode.
I hope you have an episode after this that you explain this today as well as you did about Tom Brady in that snowball game.
It was unbelievable. Me and my dad, man. 10 years old.
You were really there?
I was there till I don't know what time it was.
That's amazing.
The last game at Foxborough Stadium.
Yep.
They ran on the field after. People were trying to take the seats with them.
Yeah.
I was so young. We were just trying to get out of there. But I say sports have changed over the years.
Yes.
The best view of the game used to be at the stadium. And then TV changed that.
Yep.
So the atmosphere changed.
Yes.
And it was a little more the blue collar end of things. Those were the people. Yeah.
Once they put the boxes in for the corporations.
Changed the game completely.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I love watching the game at my house now.
Love it. I would So my dad still has the season tickets and he asked me if I want to go to games. I'm like, no, are you kidding me?
The last game I went to was at Foxborough, but it was with me and my wife, and it was the first game we went to as a couple, whatever, way back in like 2005. Just opened. Snowing, sleeting, raining, slush on the seats, slush on the ground. Middle of the Sunday, 5 o'clock. And I said, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
I'm never doing this again. But I got kids now, so I got to take them.
So you're gonna brainwash them into the whole, baptize them into the sports.
$30 hot dogs.
I think about it. I don't know if that's, I don't have any kids yet.
Yes.
But I think, like, is this a road that I want to travel down?
They ruin everything, bro.
Oh.
They ruin. No, I love my kids. No,
no, not the kids, the sports. So you're going to take them down the sports. Like, am I going to raise my kids a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan and like a Celtics fan and a Bruins? Are we going to do this again? Or are we going to be like...
You have to.
Well, I don't know what else there
is,
New
honestly.
England.
right? You're from New England. It's instilled into us almost like, being a potato farmer from Maine,
really
right?
is.
You gotta just do it.
You just have to.
Or a whaler, you just gotta. There's something
Fenway
about
Park.
it. There's something
Fenway.
about it. But the joy is that now that, like I said, watching it at home has just changed the game.
Are your kids into it as much as you were?
My kids are obsessed with football.
Oh,
football players, all football. They're obsessed with sports, period.
In general?
Yep. My oldest is actually buys and flips cards.
Nice.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. He buys and flips cards. We ended up getting all the cards from my father from like the 80s and 90s baseball cards. He's peeled through all of those. Like literally, I was just like, hey man, if there's $1 million card in here, it's yours.
Good luck.
Just you figure it out.
Because
and it's
I'm
yours.
never going to figure
I'm
that
never
out.
gonna-
Never, ever going to spend any time investigating into whether this Chipper Jones 86 rookie card has now appreciated in value by 30,000%.
Because it was printed tilted on the card, right?
Yeah.
Because that one.
There's bubble gum still
Yeah,
on
there's
it.
still it right. It was a unicorn's anus
Don
that
Russ.
rubbed against the corner of it,
They don't know how to classify that at the card rating agencies.
No.
Yeah.
But no, he does. He gets them graded. He does the whole.
That's awesome.
It is cool. Yeah. So sports is, it's fun. I to my fault, I love sports, but I've always said, like, if it's not going to make me money, I'm not going to invest so much of my energy and time and knowledge into it.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to like fine details, sure, you could probably call me a pink hat, but unfortunately, it's like I don't have the time to invest into 82 games before the Celtics are in the playoffs. I'll watch 24, right? I'll watch it on a Saturday night with the kids, something going on. If it's a work night, it's this or that. It's like, man, I don't know how people do it.
I know.
God bless them.
I know. And 162 with baseball. And did we used to have more time? Because my grandfather, I feel like he might have followed every single game for 162 and 82 and 86 and 16.
But he didn't have a cell phone.
That's true.
He didn't have a $500,000 average medium home price either.
He knew 8 people's name.
He knew 8 people's names and phone numbers.
That was it.
That was it. It's all he had to know.
Mm-hmm. 6 friends. That was it. And his wife and maybe a kid.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's like.
It has changed. It's a new game.
Yeah. But literally, it's another branch of our economic system in this country now, right?
Really
like
is.
with sports, if you removed that one element from our economy, I mean, think of how many people's jobs, people's, housing, everything just would dissolve. And now with gambling too, it's wild to me how much focus is put on it, which. I'm going to go back to philosophical where, one of the greatest quotes was, if you want to deter and steer the masses away from what's really happening, right? You build the Coliseum and you cause the circus.
Of course.
Right? So this whole thing, unfortunately, is a slight distraction for us.
No question.
Designed for this. And I don't think enough people understand that, right? So when you're sitting there and say I'm doom scrolling on my phone for 6 hours because I'm looking for a reel to mimic or perform or do this or find or laugh or stay engaged, there's people that do that with the sports on the other side of it, right? So it's scary how much distraction we have for how much value of the small things that we really truly enjoy. You know what I mean?
It really is. I love that we all have the choice to be able to do it. We were talking before, I wasn't on social media until about 3.5 years ago when I started the podcast. So for me, this whole game from 10 years ago when I was on Facebook, maybe 15 years ago when I was on Facebook, I had like a decade that I was off there. The whole game had changed. I didn't necessarily understand what I was seeing because the idea of a feed or a historical feed had been so far. It was like a dinosaur already. It's all algo all the time now.
Yep.
They're deciding what you're going to see, how it flips next.
Dopamine.
And the haptic feedback in the phone that was not there before. Maybe there was a vibration if you got a text message, but now every time you scroll down and it refreshes, that doom scroll, like you say, it never stops. And that's a dopamine hit that I didn't understand. So psychologically, I had to deal with probably a lot of the same things that a lot of the teenagers are dealing with that aren't equipped to handle all the things that are coming at them in real time, that maybe as a 30-year-old man, I had a little more success being able to say, oh, it's been 2 hours. I can't do this. I need to lock this thing away. I started turning my phone off at night. I got a burner, essentially. I got a prepaid minutes phone that I really try to use.
Just for drugs, prostitutes,
drugs,
and
prostitutes,
social media.
And when I'm not on social media. So it works
That's
for
a
all
triple
three
header.
of those things.
You literally saved
saving,
a third % in every field.
I told you
that's
I was an
a
economist.
win, dog.
Yeah.
That's a solid win.
I know.
You make me laugh because I actually started comedy 3.5 years ago, almost 4. And when I started comedy, I had nothing on social media. Nothing. I had my Facebook from ancient times, and I started everything fresh, brand new.
That's great.
I started fresh with the Tommy Wirez name, and I just rolled with it.
I love that.
And, Wirez has a Z on the end of it because I was able to secure every single page with that name all the way across the board.
So smart.
From Venmo all the way to YouTube.
Nice.
And across the board, everything's Tommy Wirez. You just Google Tommy Wirez on Google. It's insane. It's like 6 pages of me.
That's awesome.
Just because the name was unique.
Smart. Smart.
Because I'm an electrician, I was like, hey, what am I going to go with? What am I going to do? I'm not going to be Tommy Powers.
No.
I'm not going to be Tommy Volts. I'm not going to be Tommy, Whippersnapper.
I love it.
But
so 3.5 years into comedy, what made you want to jump in and become a stand-up?
Stupidity.
Yeah.
No. It's weird because I always found comedy to be therapeutic, and I thought it was, great outlet. I always, so way back, Adam Sandler had mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with those. And then Adam Sandler went on and he got better and better. And then, Happy Gilmore came out and all these movies and all these comedians and everybody on the show that was on his, mixtapes were all over the place. And then all of a sudden, obviously you got Chappelle, you got Burr, you got all these guys growing. And then you hear about, Burr's from Boston, and you're just like, wow, this is realistic. Like, this is something that's a medium that with effort, time, and determination is a possibility. I never thought I could be a comedian by any means. I went to a comedy show when I was about 16 years old. It was my first, it was my first comedy show. I tell this story all the time because I still love the guy and now I'm friends with him. But Paul Gilligan is a comedian in the area. And my first comedian I ever saw on stage was Paul Gilligan. Well, Paul Gilligan's also an electrician. Well, I already decided I was becoming an electrician. I was working in the trade with a neighbor of mine, drilling houses, working on homes. So I'm like, this guy is an electrician by day, comedian at night. I'm like, this is actually a possibility. This is really cool, And then I saw George Carlin in Vegas, and I'm like, wow.
Oh.
So I went from like, this is like Kowloon, like, a room of whatever, 60 people to like 2,500 in a room and watching this guy murder. He said the C word. I was with my mom and dad, and he said the C word like 70 times in like one show.
So funny.
And
Carlin's next level.
He actually passed away a little bit after that, but it was still like, I saw like the vision of what it could be, right? And it's not the vision for everybody. Don't get me wrong. Some people, everybody has their own carved path with comedy. To be a comedian, you have to commit 100% of your time to it. I don't have that luxury, unfortunately, in my lifetime right now. I'm hoping I will have that luxury at a certain point. I'm in that slug of a time with the kids where they're middle of their ages, where they're kind of becoming who they are and not really there yet, or off to college or this and that. So there's a lot of weekends, sports, this, that kind of consumes a lot of my time. So I have to pick and choose with it. But that was why I did it. So 4 years ago, I tore my bicep off. I was out of work for 6 months.
Oh.
And I was sitting around my house and I was kind of depressed, a lot of crap going on, this and that. Just ended up being kind of like a shitty time of my life. And when that happened, I was like, I'm going to try comedy. I'm going to try comedy. I told my brother he had a friend. The friend knew somebody. We ended up going to the Winner's Circle in Salisbury, watched a little bit, found out who the guy was, talked to him a couple more times, able to go up there and do it once. And then I took a class with Mike Katrobis.
Nice.
Which was super cool. Yeah, Mike's a really great guy, great teacher, offers a lot of great mentorship when you're entering the comedy world. And after that, it just, just spiraled. Then it all becomes, practice, writing, networking, and then just finding your tribe, and working your way through it. So that's how and why and what got me actually interested in wanting to do it.
I love that. The comedy podcast scene has really given a lot more transparency into what the process would look like to be a stand-up comedian. And you really realize that, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, This is a job.
Yes.
And if you're good at it by making the people laugh, that's all that really matters.
Exactly.
If you can figure that one thing out.
Yep.
And everyone says, oh, wait, I see you're just talking. Like
Right.
you're just talking. Like you can figure out how to talk until they go through it. And once you go that first time, because I did it 20 years ago, maybe now, 2011, 10, 11, 12, around that time.
Yep.
And the first time you go up there, you're like, oh, this is a different thing than I thought was going to be.
Yeah.
And I imagine after your 100th time, you got to start to get a little more comfortable and you start to feel a little more present up there. And it starts to become more of a boxing match than kind of like a tide overcoming the open micers.
Yes. Yeah. It's like catching a ball, You don't know where it's coming from, but you're just catching the ball and you're just trying to. My first time at a mic, I puked in the parking lot at the Winner's Circle.
On the way in or out?
The night I was so nervous. It was the night that I did it. I ended up puking in the parking lot before I did my set.
Okay, before. Nice.
Before
Get that out before, and
got it
then
out,
you go up on stage.
And I was like, so nervous. I did a couple eulogies, which makes the whole situation even funnier. But I did a couple eulogies.
You're bombing and you're standing on stage doing eulogies.
So
that
the
is
eulogies
hilarious.
proved to me that I could write something that was well documented that I could read in front of people. And then then I was the best man at 2 weddings, and I did the 2 weddings speeches.
A couple opportunities
and those
to
were
write.
Good.
Nice.
Right? That was like through my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started doing the comedy thing, it was just like, all right, I can get up here. I can do this. Now it's remembering my jokes, going through my material, riding it like a bike. And then once you finally have the feeling of I can do this in front of people, I can tell jokes and make them laugh. I've proved that. Then you can finally hear the glass drop in the room. Then you can finally hear the ambulance coming down the street. Then you can finally hear the lady talking to her husband in the corner. And then that's when shit gets really fun.
Yeah.
Because then you can start moving towards the situational happenings of the space as it's happening and work with it. So there's like a giant fog until you break that fog and you hear what's going on in the room. You're not nervous to be on stage. You're not nervous about losing your material. You're not nervous about delivering your material. You're not nervous about doing a hosting gig in front of 400 people. That's when it gets fun. And that's what I love about it. And that's why I do this, because it's just, dude, that feeling when you get off and you make a room full of 120 people laugh and they just clap when you get off. It's just like, wow.
The thing that I love about comedy is it's so accessible. Anyone can make someone laugh. Like if you work in an office, if you're a teacher, if you like collect trash cans, all of you have made someone laugh, and you understand like, oh, making 10 people laugh must be way more fun.
Right.
Making 1,000 people laugh must be crazy.
Oh, dude.
And it
haven't been there yet, but man, that's a dream someday. But
it really is too. Like you say, you got to put your focus into it. That was one thing that
how old were you when you tried it first time?
College.
Okay, so you were...
So
okay.
21, 22. I went up maybe a dozen times.
Yep.
I have gone up since then around here in Salem a couple of times.
Yep.
But you I remember thinking all the time like a comic. So I'm always looking for the funny
Yes.
in everything, which is great.
Oh,
Helps you through your day.
The rose-colored glasses of seeing the world through a comedic lens.
So nice.
If I never go on a stage the rest of my life, I know I've extended my lifespan because little things don't irritate me anymore. I just see them in how they're funny. Like, oh, shoot, the accident's up there. We got to turn around this corner. Wow, that's funny. We went past the sex toy shop, right? Like, everyone would be like, oh, I'm in traffic for an extra 20 minutes. Well, I got to see dildos hanging on a wall.
Love that.
Right?
Love
you know what
that.
I mean? Like,
Yes.
I don't
Just break
care.
up the goddamn.
I don't care. This was hilarious. My kids are laughing. I'm laughing.
Being present like that too. You have to be present in the moment to
You
pick
have
out
to.
these little things.
Yeah.
And well, I think it's hard. Like when you have kids, it's hard to think about the funny when like you're trying to make sure that your kids get off to school and you get to work and your
Yeah.
wife like does her thing and like all
Yeah.
these things are going on. It's hard to be locked in, and you really do have to be a video game stoner who lives in New York City and like barely goes out at night to be thinking about jokes all the time.
It's unbelievable, dude. Yeah, it is. It's definitely, and I mean, I can't say I wish I could write jokes and do all that all the time, right? But I chose this path. But I was just about to say to you earlier was I read or saw it somewhere that, there's two prolific times to join comedy. One of them is at 18 and one's at 35.
Really?
And the reason those two windows are so prevalent in your life is because 18, you don't know anything and you're figuring it out on your journey, right? At 35, you knew and know your journey and have so much to talk about from your journey, right? So you'll see those two windows of ages in comedy so often than not because, and yeah, 35, 34, 36, 38, whatever. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like
Yes.
you have the comics that lived a whole lifetime before they started and the comics that haven't lived anything yet, in the adult world, right? And you have so much to risk at 18 than you do at 35 is what I was about to finish. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
please.
off. But it's at 35, you have so many other things you have to think about before you can go to New York every single Friday night
Yeah.
to go do stage time.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay though. I'm blessed that I have what I have, and I'm blessed that I am where I am. And I'm blessed that I know that I'm probably not gonna hit my stride till I'm 50. Right? I'm 40.
It's quite possible.
I'm working for my stride to be when I'm in my 50s.
And so many comics hit it at that time. So that's
I'm
very
hoping,
realistic.
And then the other thing is too, if I hit it at 50s and I ride through my 50s to 60, I retire what I do now and I go do cruise ships the rest of my life.
Hell yeah.
Seeing the world on cruise ships, just telling jokes at night. Right? And I mean, is that realistic? Maybe. Is it not? Maybe.
I think cruise ships is definitely realistic.
There's so
sure.
many cruise ship comedians that just literally live a fantastic life. They make a couple grand a week, free room and board.
Cruising around the
Take their sibling, take their wife or partner or whatever with them. It's like,
Yeah.
what else can you ask for?
Yeah. Oh
You
my
know?
God, that's great. I love it.
Yeah. I try to tell everybody, like, when you're going to do the comedy side and you're going to go into doing the comedy side, just write down stuff. Remember stuff. Talk. It's so easy now. Just talk it into your phone, into a notes app, and save it. Right?
There's a million ways to do it. You have to be writing all the time. When I was 18, like you were saying, I picked up on the energetic vibes. I think you noticed when things were more polarizing. Now I pay less attention to that. But at 18, I had nothing to talk. I had no experience.
Right.
So I wasn't able to flip that switch where I was funny enough at picking up on the energetic things because I hadn't figured out exactly how society was working.
Right.
But with the experience, people start to figure things out, and now you can accurately critique some of the social things that are going on with enough pizzazz to knock enough people's hair back that they notice you.
Right.
That's really all you're looking
51%.
for is something to catch.
Yeah. You got to hit at least a 51% of that room. Right? The 49 is going to sit there and look at you. But if you can hit that 51%, and then it grows to 60, 70, 80 as the night goes on, as your jokes continue through your set, you start seeing the snowball effect of the, sometimes it goes the other way, but a lot of the time you start realizing, like, I feel like a mistake a lot of the comedians make in the early years when they're starting out is just going to the low hanging fruit, the dick jokes, the, all that kind of stuff. That's just, it's going to be funny in an open mic and in that room. But the key thing to focus on when you're writing a joke and telling a joke and planning to tell a joke, plan for it to be at the coffee time at a church, not in a church, but plan for it to be at the coffee hour after church, because you want from A to B, A to Z to laugh in age group, in, content, and in familiarity. So when you're writing your stuff, the topics you kind of have to gravitate towards has to be something that someone's, learned about, right?
It's so funny to think, you're right. But I think this is an evolution of the way that we think about what we create that may have stemmed from our internet brains.
Yeah.
Thinking about, where's the demographic for this? Like, who am I trying to reach here? Like, what's going to get picked up in the algorithm?
Right.
It's crazy to think about the world like that, but we really do.
Yeah.
You really... They've
not
done
wrong.
It
to us.
Yeah, and
they're
not wrong.
Us. They're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong. That's a good way to think about things, is who are we trying to reach with our market and what are we trying to hit here?
Right.
Are we trying to reach a wide demographic, or am I only trying to make 11 people laugh? Because
exactly.
If I'm only trying to make 11 people laugh, then let's make them laugh real fucking hard so that they give us all their money, because otherwise it's going to be hard to live out here on the streets.
Well, it's hard too, because, you go to a room and a booker says, hey, how many minutes you got? Hey, I got 20 minutes. Okay, cool. You go to the room and you walk in and it's everybody 62 years old and you're telling jokes about dating apps. It's like, where's the Rolodex? You got to have the joke for the 62-year-olds.
Yes.
You got to have the joke for the 22-year-olds.
Working that room is like riding a wave, kind of. You don't know what's coming at you, and you never know what's going to be hitting that night.
Yeah.
And you got to have places to go and be able to ride the energetic flow.
Year 1 and 2, I didn't understand that. It really only takes rooms and time to understand that. And I try to, there's a couple of great comedians that are coming up in the scene right now that I had these talks with, and it's amazing what they've done with them.
That's awesome.
And where they've gone with them. They've really taken off. And it was like day 1 when I met them, I'm like, don't do this, try this, play into this. And it's just like, it's only like my fathering, it's like my old school instinct to want to, share what I've learned, because I don't care where I go. I like seeing everybody else succeed too, which, isn't common, but
it's the comedy scene. I love that there's that fraternity or brotherhood or whatever, that tightness. Everybody wants to see everybody do good. And from what I hear from the Joe Rogans of the world, that wasn't always the case. It seems like he kind of flipped a switch where everyone understands there's enough microphones for everybody to get some stage time here, because we'll find some more stages. We do it in this bar. We do it in this room. We do it in 27 bars in Salem, Massachusetts. Allie Del Franco is absolutely creating a scene
the
here.
Best.
It's nuts. She's bringing up comics from New York City, real guys in tiny little
I don't know when she
bars
sleeps.
and clubs. I got to get her on here to talk about it myself.
My favorite.
But there's so much going on, and a rising tide does lift all ships, because more people get interested in comedy, and now our fan base is growing. We have a wider pool of people that we appeal to.
Yep.
As comics, I say as comics. It's been so long since I've done comedy.
Yeah, no. But that's the thing, though.
I feel like I'm a part of it.
Bro, your training wheels just got to be bolted back onto the bike, dude. Literally, that's the thing about it. That's the coolest part, is you can put it down for a window of time. Yeah, it's gonna take you a while to get back up onto it, but you know the feeling. You know the feeling of grabbing the mic. You know the feeling of getting up there. You know the feeling of making them laugh. You know the feeling of writing a solid joke and putting it in the bag of tricks. And yeah, it's funny. There is a legacy group, and there's a group of staple electrical comedian rooms and comedian bookers, and they go through and they have a Rolodex of people. And when I started doing this, I was so concerned to be onto those people's radars and into those people's groups. I kind of lost sight of why I enjoyed doing it. And I finally had like a realization that I'm 40, right? I'm not focusing on these rooms that are owned and created and run by guys in their 60s. They're only going to put their buddies on. They're going to put their buddies on until they're 80, right? I started going the other path, and I want to be friends and stay in communication with the younger people that are getting into it, that I can give small advice, stay in communications with. Oh, wait, look, they just started running their own show.
Smart.
Right? So those are the people that I'm worried about. Do I want to get onto those stages? Yeah, of course I do. But that's also in like the 2050 plan, you know?
Yeah.
That's in my 50-year-old plan to be at that level at that point.
One step at a time. That's
And
all
it's
you
10
can
years.
focus.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah. That's all you can focus on. One step at a time, one thing at a time. And you're being so humble, too, because your social media, I mean, you're absolutely crushing it this last month. You really never know when something's going to catch. Like, Matt Rife came out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
If your writing is strong enough and you have a strong enough act that when you pop off, who knows what could happen there. But that's where we hooked up, was on Instagram.
Yeah.
We I guess, just saw each other's shit.
Yeah.
And started talking behind the scenes, and then eventually threw this thing together. But I love what you're doing, just kind of commenting on a video like it was, I was trying to think of the television shows that we used to, what are all the fucking TV
almost
shows?
Like Tosh.0.
Tosh.0,
That
and
was a
there was
great one.
another one on MTV that was more recent with the guys from Big and Rich or something.
Yeah.
One of them. But anyways,
Yeah.
I love what you're doing on social media, and it's really absolutely coming together, and a couple of things went crazy.
A couple good ones.
Yeah.
There was a couple good ones. And you know, it's one of those things where I'm trying, like, I don't know. If you read my thing, it says, you know, you're never going to see the same thing twice, because it isn't. Because I feel inspired by certain things. And I don't want to say I'm a digital creator. I like doing it. I like having fun. I like having an idea, and I like rolling with it. But if there's something like I don't ever want to be pigeonholed down to, you know, it's every time I say the same thing, I walk into the same room, we go over the same, you know, like there are people that do that, and they've done really well, especially in the Boston community. You know, then there's a couple other guys. There's a kid that I really think does a great job at it. He can say whatever he wants. I personally can't say whatever I want. I try to keep it PG. Every once in a while, I'll do a trial reel where I'll swear a lot and say something. Because when you do a trial reel, no one sees it except the people on the internet that don't know you.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know you
on
could do
Instagram, if you get to a certain level of following, you can do a trial reel.
Nice.
So I do those sometimes, but there's this kid, Jay Silly. He's awesome. He's down in southern Massachusetts. Gary Boyles, he's always doing something wacky and crazy. And then, you know, all the other comedians out there that do reels and this and that, like Brian Glowowski, and some of the other guys. It's just, I watch what they've done, and I try to just keep doing it in my own angle. And yeah, I've had a couple that popped off this past couple months.
Yeah, a couple million, like nothing to sniff at. Yeah, a few million there.
You see some of the other people though, man, you're just like 100 million this month and this and that.
Sense.
And I'm not, and it doesn't do anything for me except inspire me to want to do it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, I'm not like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't get those numbers. It's like, I've put in 3.5 years, and I'm so proud of the fact that I'm almost at 3,000 followers, because every follow I've gotten has been an organic follow. I was just saying a little bit earlier. So if I put a post up, most of the time now I get between 2,000 and 5,000 views on them. But that's only because I've put 2,000-3,000 posts out there in the past 3 years. You don't see them all because I archive them if they do shitty. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to take them off your page if they're just collecting space. So that's how you do it. It's just one more trick in the bag, you know? And that keeps my continuity in the comedy world, because I said to myself, I want to have, well, let's be honest with you, but bookers in other states are not booking you unless you have a following. Okay. I travel a lot for one of my companies that I work for in the electrical world, and they send me out to different parts of the world. And when I'm in there, I go and I do comedy. I do open mics. I try to get on shows. I try to network. I try to meet people. I do a lot of it in Vegas. So I've met a bunch of people out there that I now stay in communication with when I'm going out there. Big Jay Hollandworth, shout out, my buddy. We just hung out with him a couple of weeks ago. My family and I went out there. And Jay's traveling all over the place. But then like you say, you start growing those networks of people. He's a headliner, one of the nicest guys in the whole world. He'll meet anybody, he'll talk to anybody, and just out of the blue, I went to one of his shows. I reached out to him. We've been friends ever since for 3 years. So.
Nice.
But I get to go to different states and do comedy in those states. And when I go through the open mics and this and that, they meet me, I do my show, I post something about it, and then I always follow up with them whenever I'm coming back. I always give them a heads up. I always reach out, hey, does anybody have any shows? Anybody looking for any feature spots, guest spots, whatever? So that's just kind of what I've been doing, is kind of just nationally growing a small little community of people that have heard of Tommy Wirez.
So smart.
Right?
We're kind of doing all these things at the same time. We're working on comedy at the same time. We're building so that hopefully it all comes together in the same coalescence of the universe, deciding that it's Tommy Wirez time to shine, baby.
It's the world, it's Mugsy the Creator, dude. You're creating your magic here too, dude. This is magical to me. Like I said, I have 10 podcasts. That was under a podcast, Real and No Reels, with my shout out to my buddy Mr. Rue. We had a great podcast. It was so much fun. Mental health is a very big part of him and our producer, Jay Gillespie. That was their big thing, was mental health stuff. I was kind of more into like the laughter kind of, scene comedy kind of, putting all the silly goofy shit on the show and making people laugh. But they're really into the mental health stuff, and our podcast was pretty cool. It was a balance between the two until situationally we couldn't have the space where we had our podcast. But I love this. I love that you get 110 shows. I love the people that you communicate with, a lot of the good conversations. You're doing it here too, brother. And this is part of the whole thing you were talking about, all, rising tides raise all ships.
Yeah.
This is another, this is another tentacle on that branch,
Yeah, I do feel like artistically we're all kind of in this weird, we're all thrown in together to figure it out, especially with the mainstream sort of evaporating. I don't think that anyone at the turn of the century, like in 2000, had on their dials that television, movies, magazines, newspapers, and basically the way we communicate would completely and totally be eradicated from modern society over the next 15 to 20 years. And it would be replaced with a new mechanism, a cell phone that you're going to carry around in your pocket, and all of these new companies that are going to replace all of the old companies that were the legacy companies that we all knew and loved. Like no one was expecting.
Into an 8-second clip.
Everything really has changed.
8-second clip. Everything is an 8-second clip. I put on a show last night. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch it so bad. I turned it on. I watched it. First second, it was like a little bit of slowness. I pulled out my phone, and I was on my phone for 10 minutes before I looked back and said, what am I doing right now?
What is this? What am I even paying attention to? I haven't watched a movie and I have no idea how long. It doesn't help that they're putting out a lot of slop as well.
Telling you.
Because with no money in the industry, it's not like they're putting their best and their brightest into the
It was the Michael Jackson documentary.
Oh, how was that? Oh.
I didn't get through it. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even know where it went. It was 3 episodes, and I literally got into episode 1 like 20 minutes in. I'm like, I'm done. I paused it, and by the time I was done scrolling on my phone, the pause went back to the Roku page, and I was like, I'm not even going to press 2 more buttons to watch it again. What's going on with my brain right now?
I know.
The only joy I get is yard work now.
That's so
all
good.
day.
That's so good.
Fully focused.
I love it.
That's it.
It's probably good electrically to touch grass too.
Oh.
Decharge or whatever.
Yeah, just barefooted, decharged. Let the earth suck the
love that.
suck the living electrical soul out of my body.
Earthing or whatever.
You ever seen the people that put the socks and run it to the outlets with the wire?
No.
They put the copper socks on at night.
No, I have not seen that.
They hook
but I
on
love
copper socks, and then they run a wire to the plate where the electricity is, because that screw's grounded. And literally they sit there.
grounded
They're
all night?
grounding their socks all night long.
I'm down with that. I'll
try
fuck
it
with
out,
that.
bro.
Dude, let me get those sheets.
Just call
they
me
gotta
up,
have
dude.
sheets for that.
Call me up. I'll get you a quote on how to hook the wire up.
Hell yeah. Come right over. Make sure it's grounded. Bring your electrical tools. Make sure I'm not going to electrocute myself to death. Oh, that would be something, though. Trying to do something for health and all of a sudden you electrocute yourself to death.
I just don't. I mean, all right. So there's the whole universe is a wavelength. Everything's a wavelength. We're not even stuck together, dude. We're not even stuck together at the atomic level. We're just a floating bubble of just elements. They're not even touching. How does that make any sense? And then the quantum stuff is out of control. I wore my favorite shirt, dude. Look at the Earth's still not flat. They checked again.
It's got to be.
Are you a flat earther?
No.
Oh, thank God. We couldn't do this. I would have thrown this mic across the room if I found out.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down. If you got a good argument, I want to hear it. Like, I really want to hear it.
I haven't heard one yet.
No, me neither. Everything that I see out in
Sorry
space
for the
is
flat
round.
earthers that like this show. It's round.
Philosophically, like if you got like something that you're gonna tell me like, oh no, all of experience, like even though it feels round, like eventually it gets like, sure, give me anything, like sure, give me something I haven't heard before, but everything you guys got about no, get up in a helicopter balloon,
Dude.
you just can't see the curvature and shut up, dude, shut up. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of you.
There's five guys that proved themselves wrong. Like they've already proved themselves wrong.
Carlin has that joke, like, imagine 50% of people and the other 50% of people, that's average right there.
Right.
So if you're average, you got to remember 50% of people are stupider than you. They're flat earthers. There they are. We found them. They all congregate together in Las Vegas for one weekend a year. And after they go and they stand outside Area 51, they're like, let us in.
Yeah. I got a joke where I tell people, you ever been to Wyoming? Wyoming, yeah. There's 750,000 people that live in Wyoming. There's a flat earth page with 850,000 people on it. So remember that there is a state larger than Wyoming of people that believe that the earth is flat.
That's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, I think that the reality of things is that we're so more interconnected than we know we truly are, and I think there's a lot of mediums in this journey that we're in that connect us in ways like I was talking about earlier too. It's like the two things that most people, they're calling this a comedy revolution right now. There's so many people doing it. There's so much comedy out there. So many people are trying to get into it. I don't know if it's because of the fact that it's so readily accessible with internet and YouTube and all the apps and everything that you can put your stuff out there with and all the places you can go to, and people are trying it and trying it and trying it. But people are attracted to absolute misery, destruction, or humor. And like the gray area in between that is just filled with so much noise that until you separate just those two, the complete disaster, train wreck crash, shocking politics crap, and then the funny, I just feel like anybody in that whole gray area is just distracted.
The same way the world has become polarized, the content as well has become polarized. I talk a lot about women and their choices in the content that they consume. I often hear women speak to me about how dangerous the world is and how much they live in fear. And then I ask them what they watch all day and what they listen to in their ears as they walk around. And I see why they're like looking over their shoulders and stuff, because you're listening to murder and you're filling yourself with it all the time.
It's a huge
You're
point.
riding a wave of that adrenaline, which is fear.
Right.
And comedy is a harder one to do. A comedy, to make people smile and laugh, it's a different like a magical spell that you're putting them under.
Yeah.
And I see why horror is such a popular genre as well.
Yeah.
Because the jump scare, it's an easy tactic there's a lot of ways that you can do it, simple fashion.
Yeah.
But comedy's a harder one to do. I forget where I was going with that, but
I like it. No, you're right. I mean, my wife watches the murder mystery stuff, and she watches, all these crazy things. I mean, there was just one. This lady, you might it's on Netflix, but this lady faked a pregnancy. She faked a pregnancy for 9 months, right? Knew this other person that was pregnant. She cut the baby out of this lady and took her as her own and went to the hospital and said she had the kid in the car. And like, they were like, she murders this fucking lady. I'm like, I look at my wife, I'm like, why are you watching all of this?
Yeah.
What is, I said a long time ago, I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch scary movies. I don't do any of that stuff because my brain, I just don't want to know whatever that was exists. Like, I just don't even want to see how to do it because I'm going to want to do that too. You know what I mean? Like comedy. It's like, I don't know. But people love it.
I know it really is a massive thing, but maybe that's why the comedy genre is jumping off now.
Maybe it's those rose-colored glasses I said.
Mm-hmm.
We have the comedy. The girls have the horror and the. But
it does feel like we're the new rock stars. Like comedy's the new rock stars.
I get on a plane and I fly to a city and I talk to people on the plane. I always say I'm a comedian when they ask, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to fucking Bend, Oregon.
Sometimes people aren't even asking.
Comedy, dude.
Like, do you want this coffee? I'm like, yeah, I'm a comedian. Yeah, what? Yeah, I'm a comic. Why? Why you ask? Chocolate or vanilla? Yeah, I'm a comedian.
Talk to my
You're
agent.
Right. Sorry, I can't be having these conversations with you. But yeah, no. So when you go anywhere, you say that shit.
No, but no, it is. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun doing comedy. It's fun being good in doing comedy.
I've never been good in
right?
comedy.
No, me neither. So
it looks fun.
But you keep practicing it. You keep doing, like you said though, the group, the tribe and the community. And Salem has a great community of comedy, which is amazing. I love coming down. I love, Adam Buckets. He's got a great mic. He's an awesome dude. Allie's fantastic. A lot of other in this town, and you just keep putting you keep making the shows, and these people get better and better and better, and then you just see people pop off.
It's so hard to put a scene together. I mean, Joe Rogan moves to Austin, Texas. He makes it look so easy, right? Oh yeah, of course. Comedy's been here the whole time. The #1 club in the fucking world. Shut up. Ali Del Franco comes off Long Island, and she moves to Salem. What she's done is incredibly impressive.
Yep.
It's hard to do, but I am impressed with the turnout and the amount of people that want to come out and try comedy. It is so great. It really is.
I wish it wasn't an hour from me to get here. That's the only. I'd be here more. It's such a tough town.
I know. Do you have clubs that you go to regularly around southern New Hampshire, like New England, Manchester?
Yeah, I like the Manchester because it's 30 minutes away from me.
Nice.
At the border. So, but yeah, I mean, what got you into podcasting?
Listening to it all day long, I think. I worked a ton of jobs that I didn't necessarily enjoy, and I was curious and fascinated with the world and how it worked, and I guess I struggled a little bit in my understanding of how to approach operationally life and the reality that we exist in, because I wasn't necessarily getting the honest truth from the people that were supposed to be giving it to me. Like your teachers in college, they mean well, but they are not equipped to teach you how to deal with the world that you're about to enter. Like lots of people in my life gave me great advice too. Lots of people at jobs, but everyone's in a safe place for themselves.
Right.
And the world has changed in many ways. We've discussed some of them.
Oh yeah.
As a banker and economist, inflation eating away at the American dollar, killing its purchasing power since the year 1970, when the United States moved off the gold standard and our dollar went to fiat. It meant that it wasn't backed by anything. So every single year has gotten harder. The crazy stagflation, which is when the economy goes into a depression, at the same time there's rampant inflation during or shortly after the pandemic, when we were getting It's so fascinating.
$3 trillion
to me.
pumped into our economy after the pandemic.
I don't know how people are surviving, and I talk about that a lot, but they're especially having 60,000 hours of working in shitty jobs and listening to the most intelligent conversations that I could find hour after hour. I felt like, well, maybe it's time that I throw my 2 cents in here.
I love it.
Hopefully I can help people prevent them from falling down the same paths that I fell into.
Yep.
I bill myself as the world's biggest idiot.
Okay.
So like I've made every mistake out there. Like you want to
I
know
go by the dumb electrician.
exactly.
So I like it.
So anybody that has trouble being dumped or whatever, any of that stuff. I also got so good. This was where it got scary. So when I was a banker and in finance, you reach a point where you start to understand what's going on. And I got so good I could predict the future. And like now I have to make a decision here.
Yeah.
Do I want to start really trading sums of money? You had to build yourself up to some sort of base that you can start to test your theories. And I got to the point where I think I could make 10,000 into 10 million by simply observing the people that are doing things behind the scenes, probably illegally, but they were the largest whales in the financial marketplace. And I was just going to copy and piggyback their trades. It's like with Nancy Pelosi, like shit like that.
That's
like
a good
just
app.
fall. So when you get real good at that, now I have to make a decision on what I want my life to be.
Right.
Because if I take $10,000 and I make it into $1 million, everyone in my life is going to ask me to continually do that every single day for the rest of my life. And that's going to be my new existence.
Yeah.
Is turning a little money into a lot of money by predicting the future, by following the arms deals that happen and following all the war that's about to happen because profits are going to come from that.
Right.
So I need to be focused on where the profits are going to come from if I'm going to flip my next buck. And I have to learn how, like, the capitalistic market that your children are learning about trading baseball cards, how that's actually a farce. And I need to get myself into some monopolies because that's how the game's really played. So I need to Jeff Bezos this shit and Amazon it or piggyback him and hope that he doesn't notice that I'm piggybacking his trades. And if the SEC comes looking for me, I'm going to tell them exactly what I'm doing. I'm following the people that work inside your organizations because they're insider trading. And so I didn't want to do any of that. So I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. I might as well. I don't care what people think about me. And I'm one of the unique people that has sat on this street as a homeless man. I've sat here as a waiter, and I've sat here as the manager of a $2.5 billion portfolio at the largest bank on the street. And I could do any of the things on any one of the days.
But and you're here with Tommy Wirez, dude.
And I think I'd rather be doing this. So fuck everybody else.
I agree, man. I love every minute of podcasting.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I really do enjoy it. I think it is a great medium. I use it for my own pastime, and it's sad because it's the one content format that I can keep my attention through for 2 hours, and it's almost like the visual. I mean, obviously the sounds are good, but 95% of the time I'll put on a video, YouTube one.
You won't.
And I'll mute it off to the side and I'll listen to it with no video.
Yep.
I do it at the gym, do it on my ride, do it on commute. So I think it's brilliant to be, keep your feet wet and in the game and doing this. And the more and more you get out there and the more and more people, catch on to it and know what your MO is and what you're trying to deliver to the universe that you share on these shows. I think it's great. I think money is the root of all evil, right? So I probably would have taken the same path as you. Right? I think money has dissolved our feelings in this universe that we live in. Money is literally what has ruined so much relationships and people's time, and it's out of control. It's out of control. I hope the universal money situation with the robots that Elon Musk keeps bragging about actually happens. I really do. I really hope it happens. I hope we're back to just a simplistic base. Everybody's got common income, and if you want to do more in life, you do more in life. If you don't, you're all set. You still have healthcare, you still have food, still have a place to go. But people can just live as people again. I
don't know where we're headed. I do think that this medium and its authenticity, like I learn something every time I have a conversation with someone on here. It doesn't matter who they are. Like I always learn something from them that I carry with me for better or worse. And I think that that's what people are attracted to listening wise. That's why we can all pay attention. Like with a book, you read a book and maybe you get the author's honest opinion. Maybe they don't. Maybe they take you for a ride. With a movie, the same thing. But when you're listening to an author describe writing the book, it's a more authentic experience of the eyes of the author and where they're coming from. And I think that this medium offers that avenue, whether you're talking to a scientist or a comedian or a movie star or a writer, and it just gives them an opportunity to be themselves in an authentic way that Hollywood and any other artistic medium it doesn't really give you that same freedom.
Yep.
We have the ability to control not being interrupted by advertisements, which is a massive thing.
Huge.
And that changed the game too.
Yeah.
It's kind of radio without ads, right?
It is. And I wanted to ask you about your Patreon. How did you do your Patreon? How does that work?
It is pretty wild. I don't even know where I'm going to go. I don't even know where I'm about to go. But right now, I do not want to sell you any deodorant for your balls or anything else, really, at this moment. What I would like for you to do is go to MugsyTheCreator.com. You can find my Patreon link, which enables me to do this all for free, living off $12,000 a year in my paradise. But you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and a whole host of other places. Let's see where I'm going to go with this one. How's he going to land that plane? Back to the episode.
So $3, $6, or $9 a month is how I have it set up. I do behind the scenes stuff and I give early access.
Okay.
And what I want it to become is a more user-driven experience behind the scenes, whether we have a weekly podcast for behind the scenes people or a weekly Q&A. I don't know which angle people are going to want to address. So it took me a while to find the structure alone of the current events, culture, and consciousness, also as a way to navigate conversation and the reality of we all live in our own echo chamber to some degree, but we can all understand the pattern of our own thoughts, create something and manifest it. And eventually, if a lot of us have the same thought, that creates the current event. So it took me a long time to get to that place and cling to that structure. And then eventually doing interviews, you leave that, but I'm trying to use it to still pull through the conversation. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's
anyone tell you look like Johnny Pembroke?
I don't even know who that is.
You ever seen
pull a picture up.
You ever seen the show Fallout?
No.
Oh my God. I'll show you him afterwards. You remind me of him.
Hell yeah.
He's a good comedian.
All right. Is he good looking?
Great comedian. Handsome devil. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take
handsome
it. Good looking
devil.
guys, I'll take.
I'm shocked no one's ever told you that.
No, I got my friend from Atlanta likes to tell me I look like Kevin James a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I used to be a little more husky, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You lost a little weight?
Lost a little bit.
Got a little healthy? I like it.
So how's the family must be pretty supportive of you? How do the kids feel?
Family's awesome. Family's good. Yeah, my two boys are 14 and 11. My wife's great. She works from home, so she's flexible. Does a lot of stuff from the house. Like I said, I travel a decent amount for work.
Yeah.
So when I get home, sometimes it's you're doing comedy again. But now they start seeing the traction on some of the reels and some of the comedy stuff. They're kind of getting a little bit more involved, like helping me.
Nice.
Not as annoyed that I'm doing it. So it's actually been refreshing. It's fun,
Starting to become a cool thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Still kids still, it's just dad's hobby. Wife's like, oh, I'm glad it's cute. It's
like
cute.
you're in the
You're going out
garage,
with your
like as a
comedy thing.
carpenter or something.
Yeah.
Like
That's why it's my hobby. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is, And but that's all right. Like I said, it's better to get started slowly, right, than to never get started at all.
Oh yeah. Controlled growth is also such a gift.
Yeah.
Such a gift to have time to be able to figure things out. And I think that my podcast now over the 3 years, that's kind of the time capsule that I was hoping for over the evolution was I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all at the beginning. It was audio only. And then I did it all on GarageBand and you get to see me kind of figure that out. That Big Cat
awesome.
episode that we were talking about, it was the first time I had headphones on.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to myself.
Yeah.
And there's pauses, the whole rant, because I'm listening to myself. Oh,
That's awesome.
So I hope that those become funny, but getting into that rhythm, you eventually figure it out. If Dave so I would yell at Dave Portnoy because I figure I'm on the internet. This is the biggest guy I know. If I just yell at him enough, eventually he'll smack me down, and that will get me some views and will give me an opportunity to like come back at the king.
That was great.
But nothing. Shit, Crick, of course, why would you respond to... And thank God he didn't, because if he did, I wasn't ready.
Yes.
I didn't know all the shit.
Yes.
Thank God that I have
was
the
a great
time
rant.
now. I have so many of them.
That was a
I have
great
so
rant.
many that I'm like cocked and loaded.
Were you?
Hopefully... I did one on the Kirk Minahan producer show. They were interviewing producers, and I never got to go on the show. And Minahan was like, bring him on. But somebody snuffed me because I think they knew that I knew what I was doing. They sensed that I was going to steal the thunder.
Yeah, I liked that one too. Just the layout of the space you were in. I don't even know if you designed it that way, but you had like a white wall behind you. And then you had like ladders and all kinds of stuff on behind it. But if you did like a zoomed in clip, it looked like you were on like a whiteboard and like perfectly set up. But then on the YouTube one, it was like wide with all like the stuff in your basement. I'm like, I actually kind of like this. Like, this is a great idea. If I'm gonna do like a single person
vertical
podcast
content and a widescreen,
it's like Tommy Wise. Look at he's in a shed or he's in a studio, and it's the same room. I'm like, you actually gave me a good idea with that.
I didn't know how to control the ISO on the camera at the beginning, so some of my shots are just blown out with brightness.
I liked it. I liked it all.
I'm like, I'm so smart. I'll predict the future.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out how to get the brightness down in this fucking camera.
So we had we did 10 episodes, but like from episode 1 to 10, if you watch the difference between the two, I was cutting from people to screens to this. I had so much post editing stuff, and we had someone on a switcher switching the cameras, so we had to have a producer. So the producer, we did like 4 or 5 episodes with producers where it cut all by itself, and then afterwards I recorded it on 3 views and I cut it all myself, and then I cut it back down to just the one. And I'm like, first off, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, they don't care what's cutting in between because they're tucking it off to the screen and listening to it at a podcast on their head anyways. So you got the format right now. Plus you do the clips off the Opus, and it does all the stuff in between.
Yeah.
So this is really the cleanest, fastest way to get an episode out weekly or bi-weekly. And the less time you have on the post-production, the better this will always be. So
faster you can get things moving.
Cheers on your growth and your success on this stuff.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's like it's just a hustle, but it's so fun. Like that's ultimately when I decided that I didn't want to bank anymore. I wanted to create something that I could live in. Like, oh, now that I'm thinking about what I'm going to do every day, what could I do every day for the rest of my life?
Yep.
I could have an interesting conversation with someone. Maybe this will go somewhere. Maybe it won't. But I'm certainly going to do everything within my power to hustle it along and scream at everybody that I can from wherever I'm sitting to come take a look at me.
That's what you got to do. Get as many faces on as you can.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the name of the game, right? Because then, like you said, you're doing all these things at the same time. Eventually, it all coalesces, like you said.
Well, one of the things that I thought about too is what's the thing that the Joe Rogans of the world, or insert Tucker Carlson, whoever your guy is, that they can't do because they're too big now. And I thought all of this small business content, all of this behind the scenes stuff with people working in restaurants, all of this talking to like comedians as they're coming up.
Yep.
Nobody gets the views of the people on the street and gets to have all this small individual spotlight that you get to shine on someone and get like an honest take of what it's like in their life. So I thought that was an opportunity too.
Yep. No, I think it's a great market. I think it's a great niche. And like you said, you potentially can have in the bank on your page someone that goes and pops off at Joe Rogan or pops off on stage or starts touring and this and that. You'd be like,
we started talking before you had like really gone for $2.5 million, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that pops up. You never know what's going to happen. So just trying to find people that I enjoy having a conversation with that 100%. We can connect on some level on. And hopefully I want this to be a great promotion for anyone that comes on here, a platform for them to be able to speak if they got something they want to share. If you got shows coming up,
when's this coming out?
A couple weeks probably.
Oh, you're gonna miss my 2 shows, one on Friday night and one on next Monday.
Yeah, damn.
But stay tuned. October 10th, Vernon Family Farms. Nicole and Jeremiah are having another comedy show. We're gonna have headliner Caroline Plummer on that one,
Hell yeah.
it's
I've
gonna
seen her
be.
before.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I saw her on Route 1. She does Lenny
Oh
Clark's
yeah,
place.
she does giggles. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she's unbelievable. So
That's great, man. I'm
we're gonna
excited.
so we're gonna have that. That's probably the biggest thing I got coming up for the rest of this season. So
Nice.
But yeah, no, you'll see me out on the scene.
Definitely.
Salem.
We'll have to get you down here to do a set at one of the Salem things around here.
Absolutely. I do the Tipsy Cowboy.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you hear that they shuttered their doors down? They shut down. So
I know.
yeah.
I don't know where's he moving to. He was at a different place on Sunday night this week. At
Sunday night.
Distillery.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I heard about that one. I haven't been there.
Yeah.
But there's also one at the Bell Inn in Peabody, which is down the street on the way into Salem. But yeah, Allie's got a whole list every week of 5 or 6 places. Kodo, Dire Wolf downstairs on Wednesday nights. That's her show.
Well, let me know
Friday
when you're
night.
going on a show. Let me know when you're going up.
Definitely.
I'll go to that show.
I'm working on a couple of things I was talking about the Red Bull girls. Remember the old Red Bull girls? They come in and give you the Red Bull? Have you seen them now?
No.
A couple of frumpy Asian backpack Red Bull guys. Like, there's got to be something there. And then I was thinking, do you drive an electric car?
I'm looking for the Viagra girls. I'm looking for the ones that are giving out free samples of Viagra at this point, dude. Red Bull's not going to do shit for me, man.
That's a great angle, too. That's a great angle. I was just thinking about how much it's dropped. Like, is this making me an asshole because I missed the 2 blondes that would come in and give me poison? Now I'm so addicted to the poison, I'll just take it from these 2 Asian guys that waddle with a backpack. They don't even have the car out front. Remember the car that the 2 blondes would drive up in? Where's the money that they used to invest to try and get us into that? They've really lowered the budget. Where's all that going now?
Right. I want like a Valvoline oil distributor guy to hand out just quarts of oil now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even need the advertise. I don't need the Red Bull.
None of
that. One thing I am just tell me if it's just me, right? We got all these fires in all over the country, Canada,
California.
Do you remember? I mean, you're not that much younger than me, but you remember growing up how many Smokey the Bear commercials there were?
So many.
Have you seen one?
Dude, he's sleeping on the job.
Bro.
He's sleeping.
Let's think about this. How many have you seen recently?
Someone might have caught
Those
him.
commercials were working, dog.
Yeah, he might have got poached.
Those commercials work.
He's hanging on someone's wall, and now everybody's snuffing those joints out in the woods.
Yeah, and it's like people don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. Like, what's going on? Where are these?
That's good. What else was I thinking? Did you don't drive electric car?
I don't.
I was thinking about Teslas. You electric car. You can't even handle any gasoline. You can't even handle one little sip of gasoline. You just need to be plugged in. You just need an outlet, don't you?
I know a guy.
So cute.
Oh gosh.
They're gonna take us over and run us over like
I love electric cars. I'll be honest with you, I'm very biased. I love electric cars because every electric car owner pays me to put in a charging station for them. So hey, shout out to all my electric car peoples.
Tesla.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate all the work. You guys are the best.
Prius, you guys really broke the mold.
I like the 50 amp stations more than 30, but I'll do the 30s if I have to, all
and
right?
then you guys work up to those 75s and we'll really start.
I want this Tesla Stage 2 model, okay? Nothing below.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So you're plugged in.
Plugged in, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, and dude, electrical sucks. It's a great job, but man, I'm just old. I'm getting old now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing a laborious job for fucking 25 years now is just...
My grandfather was an electrician as well. He was doing that until he electrocuted himself when he was 80-something trying to put in a light bulb at his house.
Grandpappy fried the hair off his nuts at 80 and he gave it up finally.
We found him on the sidewalk doing the doorbell.
Oh no, poor bastard. You gotta know when to put the tools down. No, that's why I got the comedy going in parallel. You know what I mean? Which one's going to take off first? I'll put these tools down before that.
Who knows? If Elon puts those robots out, you might make more money installing robot
Seriously?
charging
Oh my
stations
gosh,
than doing the comedy. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of keep all our irons in the fire, and we'll see what takes off. Oh,
It's going to be interesting. I was just thinking about it today. Like, think back when you were a kid, right? Well, how old are you?
36.
All right, you're 36. Think back when you were 5 years old, 6 years old, right? Literally think of something when you were 5 or 6 years old. Now think about what you did between 5 to 36, right? You potentially have that same window ahead of you right now.
Oh, do you?
What would you do with it? Right? That's a mind-blowing conversation.
I know.
If you could take that window of time that you just went down a portal in your brain to, right? And I don't know what it was. Mine was a trip to Washington, D.C. as a kid. We drove an 8-hour car ride. My mom gave me toys the whole ride. Like every hour, she'd give us a new toy to open, whatever. But if you take that window of time from that to now to 40, right? That's 35 years. I potentially could live to 75. What am I going to be able to do by the time I get to that 75 that I am here now? Because I look at tomorrow some days and I'm just like, oh my God, life is so stressful. Life is so difficult. But if you put on those glasses and say, fuck, man, what am I going to do in those 35 years? Then life gets creative.
I love that.
to Mugsy.
Reframing the question or reframing the way you look at something.
Yeah.
The opportunities that we have. Oh
Yeah.
man, there's going to be so much opportunity. This
Zoom
AI, all of this stuff.
Right.
Being able to do this podcast as a solo person production, that wasn't as available to everybody, even like 3, 4, 5 years ago with the AI sound that we were talking about.
Yeah.
The ability for us to be doing this in a restaurant, not a studio.
Muted
and we
out.
got people that are playing air hockey back
Right.
there. We got a whole...
Having a fucking orgy right now.
Literally, there's several people
Right.
banging right behind this screen.
Nuts and butts right here,
Full
dude.
penetration.
All day.
Did you guys hear the high five? Someone just high
you
fived
hear
right
that?
back there. They're in Paris, right behind this. And you guys can't hear any of it.
Two
All that's
fists and
AI.
all.
I'm doing this right now with AI. You can't tell any of it.
Zero. We're not even here. This is all make pretend. I said this into a teleprompt, and this is what the video came out as.
Oh, do you know who Whitney Webb is?
Dude, I gotta be honest. I love AI.
Yeah, it's given
What
us
is
so
it?
much.
Who do
Whitney
we-
Webb.
Whitney Webb. I don't think
She's
so.
in the journalism field, independent investigator, but she came out this week and she was like, if you guys saw me do an interview this year, I haven't done any, so it's all AI. I was like, oh, I definitely watched a couple of those. So it's real good now.
Wow.
But Kyle Dunnigan, do you know him? He used to do the voiceovers on Instagram.
Yes.
He did a lot of the Kardashian
Yeah,
ones, the
yeah.
comedian. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's given us so much power. I mean, all the shuffling that you do of videos.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we wouldn't have been able to do that a couple of years ago. It would have been a lot harder because the infrastructure just wasn't there.
It's crazy what you
Think
can
about
do.
where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I like like I said, I like the AI stuff. It's so funny with my world growing up, like Cliff Notes was invented when I had to start writing reports, right? And I had to start writing book reports. Cliff Notes was invented.
And now the whole report.
No, it gets better. When it was time to start writing letters and stuff in like first, second, third grade, there was a computer in my room in kindergarten. So by the time I was typing on a computer, I wasn't typing on a typewriter. Clink, ding, 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 clink. I was doing it on a computer, and it was spell check. So like, why am I going to learn how to spell or say words correctly or type them correctly?
Never.
At that point, I got spell check. Right? Then the internet showed up when it was time to write reports. Right? And I don't need encyclopedia anymore. Now I just search an encyclopedia. Right? I get to a big boy job where I have to write big boy emails. I just talk it into my phone and it writes it for me. You know, it's like, I don't know how much easier life is going to continue to get for people, but I got to see I didn't have a cell phone until I was 16. I wasn't able to text till I was graduating high school. Right? You say this to a kid now that's 20, they're like, what are you talking about? That's crazy.
They don't know how the world even
So it's
operated.
like when new technology keeps coming up, I'm just like, was I like just born in like this philosophical moment of a slug of time where like all these things, I got to see all of these and then turn into that. Like, what's it going to be when I am 80, dude? Like the way the track record's going, I don't think I'm going to die at 80. I think we're just going to go into this little portal and it all continues on. They just flip a switch.
Certainly that's what they're thinking about.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And we're just doing podcasts, dude, forever.
Wow.
Meeting everybody over and over and over again.
That means Liam Neeson's
You'll have the rest of your lifetime to meet everybody, right? Because there'll be that much time.
So true, man. I don't know. Wow. Yeah. Are you going to strap into one of those head devices? The Neuralinks? I think we might be coming for a divide too, because I don't know if we're all coming for this trip around into the next dimension. I'm already on one. What do you mean? Yeah. The cell phone kind of is.
Can you imagine doom scrolling, right?
In your mind?
But with nothing there, you're just like, your wife don't even know if you're sleeping or not, dude. That might be the best game changer in life. Like, is he awake or is he sleeping?
Homer Simpson eyeballs, but permanently?
Yeah. I think that Neuralink thing is, I think they're not telling us how far it already is. And I'm pretty confident if you watch Elon Musk's interviews, that motherfucker is so smart. Sorry about swearing. That guy is so smart. But dude, some of his pauses, I question if he's running a question through his Neuralink and waiting for the answer to tell him the answer. I'm serious when I say
He's
that.
He's got a glitch.
Bro.
He's not fast enough yet.
That 12-second delay when he goes.
There's some lag time.
He goes,
yeah.
And he goes, I am reminded of In the Princess Bride. Give me power.
He just
comes up me money
with something relatable to relate to the peasants in the moment. He's like,
first off, you did not watch The Princess Bride, dude. You were programming PayPal. Okay,
I know what you were doing in '96.
There's no chance you watched The Princess Bride.
Nope.
Your Neuralink printed out and sent you the closest relatable topic for 60 minutes in that interview.
Definitely, they're employing shit.
Oh,
why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Have you seen what the guy's doing with it? Like the guys that have it now?
No, I haven't watched any of it.
All right, so you gotta you listen to Lex Friedman?
I occasionally.
Dude, he's got a 6-hour SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, Elon Musk episode.
Oh, I have not listened to that one.
Oh my God. It's a long, but you listen to what they're doing with the Neuralink and it's like, whoa. Like I'm happy for people on this planet that are going to be able to be in the robot suits being created by that thing, moving it and doing it. Cause it's going to happen in our lifetime.
Definitely.
That thing will be walking people in meat suits with robot hands all over the place. And we're going to see them.
Just like the Boston Dynamics dogs, except for we're going to be inside the suit, controlling that with our mind.
The people, the quadriplegics that literally imagine being a quadriplegic and stuck inside your brain and you can't do anything. This guy is literally building you a world around that you'll be able to control. Because of this thing he's got stuck with these tentacles into your fucking brain. It's insane.
So true.
People want to hate that guy. I'm sorry. People want to say he's the richest guy in the world, this and that. He deserves to be the richest guy in the world. I'm sorry. Because the stuff he's inventing, the stuff he's creating, and the things that he's moving humanity towards, no one else is doing outside of a government. And who trusts a government?
I know.
Our faith is in one dude. Like everything else is government.
I know. It's crazy. I always say from an engineering perspective with Elon Musk, say what you want about, the human being I separate. He took a car and a vehicle that was designed to be weight distributed to having an engine that runs off fossil fuels. And he redistributed all of that weight in an electrical vehicle and made a specific vehicle that's unable to tip upside down, which is, from an engineering perspective, that's insane that he did that. He also made it the fastest car on Earth, the Plaid, and all of these are all incredible feats without even talking about the fact that he's shooting rockets off and landed them back down. The Boring Company is one that I love that
Me too.
It gets so overlooked
Me
because
too.
I think that's his government tie.
Yep.
Is he's running the underground tunnel systems for the continuation of governance system that we know is all going on behind the scenes. I don't know if we're allowed to say that on YouTube, but we'll find out.
That'll be banned.
That's my speculation, allegedly.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah,
because
I should have worn my allegedly shirt.
no, yeah, that's great.
No,
But no, I don't hate him as much as everybody else does either.
And I can understand why people do hate him, and I understand people that don't understand capitalism and they don't understand entrepreneurship and they don't understand that kind of stuff because it doesn't make sense to them. Which like I said, we live on a planet where we can all believe and understand and like the things that we see because we all come from different organic growth spaces. You know, we're all from different places, brought up different ways, and see the world as we see it the way it is. That's probably the best thing you can understand as being a comedian is knowing that there's so many people come from different worlds. His brain, I mean, the guy's tormented with how smart he is if you watch interviews about him. But it's just the fact that, like, you know, he sunk every dollar. Like, he invented X, then he invented X was a computer software system. Then X AI turned into PayPal. Then PayPal had 4 people in PayPal alongside him that created PayPal. They sold that. One of them owns YouTube, SpaceX. I forget the other 2 guys, but it's like the distribution of wealth in the companies and the things that have been prevalent on this society in the past 20, 25 years. I mean, we're all due to some of people that he started with or was with.
Elon Musk, David Sachs, Peter Thiel.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of them.
All
the
of them.
PayPal Mafia is what they call them.
The PayPal Mafia.
Yep.
And now here we have SpaceX, and SpaceX is going to do great things. And it's
They're IPOing too, right?
they already did.
They already did. See, I'm so out of the game.
They crashed and burnt though.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they hit 185 a share, and now they're down to like a 118.
So that
But
doesn't surprise me. I think
made
that
him
they're
a
trying to
trillionaire,
crush. They're
and
trying to
then-
crush him anyways.
They're obviously trying to crush them,
So-
but it's not. It never. I mean, it was the same thing with Solar City, same thing with Tesla, same
Yeah.
thing with all of them.
Mhm.
You know, it obviously takes track records, it takes ground, it takes accomplishments. You know, but he'll have them, but over and above everything else we all just talked about, Tesla robots and Neuralink is going to be his legacy first and foremost, behind everything, because
I think
what he's
you're-
going to do for society.
I think you're probably right.
You know,
Those Tesla robots are pretty. I'm surprised at how close they are.
think about this too, right? You don't want to think about this, but you get to a certain age where your body deteriorates, right?
Mm,
Do you still have your brain?
who knows?
Right? So maybe at 85, you just get tucked into a little fucking, right? And you continue on life in a Neuralink
Who knows? All of these
All
things are
downloaded.
possibilities.
through a robot that's going around all day doing what you used to create.
All of these
You're
things.
serving at a restaurant still through your AI because that's what you love to do. It wasn't a job.
Mm.
You just loved meeting and serving people. Well, guess what? Now you're in a Neuralink doing it in a Tesla robot.
Crazy. And that's gonna happen. I feel confident saying that that's gonna happen
Yeah.
in our lifetime. Like
Yeah.
probably way closer
Yeah,
than we want to admit.
absolutely.
Um,
I love
this
it.
has been great.
This has been fantastic.
This has been fun. Like this was such a great conversation. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Just those people in the orgy behind us.
Well, we can hop in now.
Can
if
we
we're gonna,
get that
if we're gonna
going?
wrap it up, like we can.
We might as well
we-
go join.
Let's wrap this up. Then we'll wrap us
Wrap
up.
this
and then
up. Get some scallops wrapped in
Yeah.
bacon, and then go over to the.
Hey, thank you for coming down.
Yeah, man.
Great luck with everything that you got
Thank
going
you so
on.
much.
I love the channel, like
Yeah.
the Instagram channel. I'll
Yeah.
plug everything here.
Thank you.
And I'll put the
Yeah.
links up.
Tommy Wires across
Tommy
the
Wires
board.
on everything.
TommyWiresComedy.com. Sometimes my shows are on there.
I'll put stuff up for the Vernon Family Farm, the link to the comedy stuff, maybe stuff from last
Yeah.
year, whatever I can.
I
whatever
get the
can
YouTube
scrounge up.
page. I haven't done a whole lot on my YouTube page in the past like
We'll
10
plug
months.
it all, put
But
everything in the notes.
yeah, I think I'm gonna start picking back up on the YouTube
Good.
page.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Going waves.
Shoot, even like cell phone content.
Yeah.
Throw it up widescreen, and then you get a widescreen video. Throw that right into YouTube.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I
Like
think
something funny.
I
Something
started
that's going
doing
on.
some lives.
Hmm.
And it was kind of interesting because I did get some following. I got
Good.
some people. I got
Definitely.
this, so
I started that. It's hard production-wise.
So
It's hard to do at the same time.
so hard.
But thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
down,
man.
Great
Bugsy,
combo.
this was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, and keep up with the good luck and all the success you're having.
Come back down anytime, especially
I will.
October season. We'll get you on the comedy scene. I'll talk to Allie. All right,
Yeah.
guys, that was it for us. Take back your consciousness. I love you, and we are out. If you want to find out where else you can listen to this broadcast and you're a human, you can go to MugsyTheCreator.com. If you're a robot, I got nothing for you. I mean, unless you can subscribe over here, or you can click this playlist. If you're a robot, you can do that. That would definitely help. Like, subscribe, whatever you want. Thanks a lot, guys.